Hey, gorgeous ones. I'm trying to work on the intro thing because someone made fun of my intro. One of my friends, she mocked me. She mimicked me. And I hope she sees this because she knows who I'm talking about. Sharmika Vaughn. Anyway, hey, gorgeous ones. How you doing? So today I want to talk about the worst foundations I tried this year. And I really wasn't planning on doing like one of them worst of things, but these were so bad, I don't want anybody using them. And yes, of course, it might have just been bad for me. And oh, Louise, you shouldn't say those things because somebody else might like it. But I'm telling you all, and I'm trying to help my sisters. And the reason why I'm saying that is because we are of a certain age. And I mean, I know my demographics. I look at them. So we are all at a certain age and we need to look as lovely as possible without some problems. So if you would like to hear about the worst foundations I tried this year and why you should stay away from them, stay tuned. Hey, okay, so I'm back. First things first, I have decided to own the locks. I was going to go out and buy some, a wig or two, you know, to get me through this ugly stage. You know how people like put on weaves and wigs. And I just decided, you know what? You're going to own these locks. Because if you're going to wear them, you're going to own them from day one. Now, I am going to have them split so they're fuller. I talked to the lady who did them and she said we can do that. But anyway, let's go on back to what we was talking about. Now, it always unnerves me when people like honk their horns, like clearly they're honking at somebody, like trying to get their attention in a building. It just, you know, it's 2017. But anyway, I'm not going to go down that path. So let's talk about the worst foundations I tried this year. And I have tried a lot of foundations this year because I honestly have not been that person who's worn a lot of foundation over the years in these last few years. And I'm going to talk about it for a second because I'm just going to say, I'm a woman of a certain age and I'm a Black woman. So for when I was young, what we had was fashion fair. Now, don't get me wrong. I probably could have gone to some other, you know, places like Maybelline or whatever and gotten foundation. But even though I am fair skinned as a Black woman, my family is a rainbow of people. So I didn't know about those things that they could have for me. I just thought, oh, I'm Black and there's nothing for them, so ain't nothing for me. And what we had back in the day was fashion fair, that cake. Y'all remember that cake that you put on with the sponge and you look like you could lift your face off. So that's what foundation was to me. So I used to use powder foundations and I did use some foundations over the years, but it just wasn't what we were doing when I was younger. Because if you wore full face, it was because you was trying to hide your bad skin. So, you know, I pretty skin. I don't need it. So let's go on back here. I'm going back. I'm going to digress. I was digressing. So that's the storyline. So let's talk about foundations because, you know, I'm 50. Y'all know I'm 50 years old. And when you get to a certain age, there's certain things, even though I have good skin. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but for a person who doesn't have, you know, hasn't had any work done, you know, doesn't do all those things, my skin is in pretty good condition. So you want it to look that way. So here's the two that didn't work out. Now, luckily, I didn't pay full price, so I'm not as mad at them as I could have been. But okay, but let's talk. So the first one is this Tarte Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation. Now I was like, oh, this is looking pretty because it's a nice gel and gels tend to be a little lighter on the skin. So I was looking, for something like, especially in the summertime and everything. So I got medium honey. Now, the stuff A is a little light for honey. I should go get my honey and do a comparison, but I'm not even going to do that. I have found that these beauty companies call honey a much lighter color than what honey really is. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'm going to need you all, if you're going to call a foundation color honey, let's make it honey color. Honey is like caramely. you know, like what caramel looks like, maybe a little orangey, whatever, but it ain't this paleness right here. That's number one. So it was a little paler than I wanted it to be, but that's my fault. It's not even about the color. The problem was I put it on and I immediately looked at my face like, oh my God, what am I doing? It was like I had, every pore was opened up. It made me look like I had little bumps on me in places that I didn't have bumps. It was a terrible finish on me. And what I was looking for was a very lightweight, you know, light to medium coverage with a very moussey feeling. I'm gonna go outside and throw a rock at them. Shut the fuck up. Okay, so that's the number one. This one. Now, luckily, I got it on sale. It's $12. Now I know why they was willing to give it away for $12, because they can't give this shit away. So they was like, $12 and we'll sell it. And that's what they did, because when it was selling like hotcakes, because me and fools was going in there and getting it. Now, let me say, it might look fine on other people. And this is interesting because I don't have really dry skin and I don't have super oily skin. I do have, you know, in the T-zone, but not super oily, just a little bit. So for it to like enhance everything and make my skin look dry, it was terrible. Now, here's the next one. Bare Minerals Bare Pro. Let me get y'all that good. Now, the color is okay, toffee. But let me tell you, now I had heard rave reviews about this. I heard rave reviews. I was like, oh, I'm going to try this out, because I done heard a few people on YouTube talking about, yes, it's so wonderful. But let me say this. Perhaps it's really good if you have really oily skin. But I don't have super oily skin. And so what it did was I put it on and I was putting on my lipstick and I was like, where the hell did all these lines come from? It was like it was drawing my lipstick out and it had made these lines, these super, now don't get me wrong, I'm sure I'm getting fine lines around my mouth, but they ain't to the point like that. Okay. So it was like it was sucking it up. And then I looked at my skin and it looked old. It made me look old and dry. And the thing was with this one I'm saying last, is because I mentioned it to a few people and they agreed with me. So it wasn't just me. It was like a consensus of women saying, oh yeah, I tried that stuff. It was terrible on my skin. So what it is, I think the people, and then I looked at the people who had mentioned it. What's going on my 11s? I looked at the people who had mentioned it, and I swear it. Gosh. Darn it. Do y'all hear that horn? Okay, so anyway. They said the same exact thing happened to them. And I think what it is, it's really made for really oily skin. Most of my skin up in here is pretty normal. So it drew itself into my skin. It like sunk into every line, into every pore. It accentuated any imperfection that was in my face was there for the world to see. So no, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. So yes. So those are the worst of the worst. You know, I've had something I'm like, yeah, they're okay. I don't necessarily want them. But these, I'm just telling you all, do not get them. Lulu has spoken. So anyway, thanks for coming on in and hanging out with me. If you like these type of videos, give it a thumbs up. Hey, are there any foundations that you've used that just sucked balls? Put it in the comments. Tell me about it. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. I want to hear about it. I do. So if you like this video, just come on in. And if you're new, don't forget to subscribe. I upload 3-4 times. And let me just say this. I'm small, but I'm starting to really get my vibe and feel what I'm doing in reference to this whole YouTube channel thing. And thank you for coming in, my subscribers. And thank you for hanging out with me. And please leave a comment and tell me hello. I love to hear from you. You all have a great day. And may life treat you kind. Yes, Shar, I said that again.